I want to bring in Max Baucus, former U.S. ambassador to China during the Obama administration. And Ambassador, look, you understand this so well. So you spent years in China. You understand how this country operates. Do you think there's any chance Peng has actually willingly recanted her incredibly serious allegations and is happily snuggling with her cat and not answering her phone?
Probably not. The government wants this to go away. There are several ways they can make this go away. One is what they're attempting to do thus far, that is censor. Just try to keep it out of the news, and hoping that not only Chinese people, but the world community that doesn't follow this anymore. That's one way for it to go away. That's not going to work. It's only going to go away when the government realizes, hey, they got a big problem on their hands, and even though the alleged rapist is a former very high government official, that they're going to have to bring him to justice in some way, and at the very least show to the world that that Peng Shui is safe, she's okay, and also it's very important that justice be done.
So let me ask you. Sorry, I know just a little bit of a hit here on our connection, but they had put out an email. Actually, the head of the WTA received the email, and it was very formal from her, recanting what she said. He then wrote back to the email. She hasn't responded to that or anything else. But he saw the email reported by Chinese state media before he shared it with anybody, just so everyone understands what's really going on here. Ambassador, you met with Chinese leaders, and this is really significant because you met with the former vice premier, Zhang Gaoli. That is the man Peng is accused of sexually assaulting her, of rape. We know very little about him, but you have met him. What can you tell us about him?
Well, not much is really known about him. The Chinese Communist Party keeps things very, very much under wraps. He's kind of stone-faced. I've met with him several times, dealt with him several times. He's poker-faced. He has been very much involved in business matters and construction matters in China. Basically in eastern China, also in the western part of the country. And but when you try to talk to him, he plays it by the book. He does not volunteer very much. He's a very, very hard person to read. He's not going to win any Mr. Personality contest, I'll tell you that.
Wow.
Frankly, among people I've known in China, he is at least Mr. Personality.
Wow, which is pretty, okay. So now, Peng obviously has not been seen publicly since making that explosive allegation. And I just want to point out to everyone watching that China has done this to really prominent people. It is amazing. And they have gotten away with it, right? I mean, Alibaba founder Jack Ma, right? The household name to most people watching. He went missing for 3 months after he criticized China's financial system. And now he's out there and cowed. Prominent actress Fan Bingbing vanished from public view for nearly a year after a massive tax evasion scandal. Xiao Jinhua, a billionaire financier, was seized from a Hong Kong hotel in 2017. He has not been seen since. Real estate mogul Rin Jichong went missing last March after criticizing China's COVID response, has now been sentenced to 18 years in prison for corruption. And Ambassador, as you know, I'm just giving, a very small sampling. You know firsthand how this goes. I mean, they have been able to do this with impunity.
Well, not quite impunity, because it very much tarnishes their reputation in the world community. And China is aware of that. It's a problem they're facing. That is, they want total control. They want to bring in people, detain people indefinitely. But they know that if they're high-profile people, that they're going to face a huge reputational cost in so doing. So they've got a problem on their hands. I think the answer to all this, frankly, is for the world community to stand up, as the Women's Tennis Association has. And the more that continues, the more finally China's going to realize it's got to be, if it's going to be part of the world community, it's got to be, has to adopt the standards that the rest of the world community has as well.
Well, Ambassador, I really appreciate your time. Thank you so much. I think there's one thing we all know, and that is that China did not expect the WTA to stand up the way it is. They probably expect them to sound more like the IOC, but no, WTA truly doing something remarkable. Thank you so much, Ambassador. New tonight, President Biden confirming that he is considering a diplomatic boycott of the Winter Olympics in Beijing over human rights abuses. This as China continues to stonewall on missing Chinese tennis star Peng Shuai, one of the top-ranked double players in the world. She's been missing for nearly 3 weeks after accusing a former vice premier of sexual assault. A government spokesman today saying, quote, this is not a diplomatic issue, when asked if he knew anything about her whereabouts. Although we understand that as I speak about this, CNN goes to black in China because they don't want it broadcast. This comes one day after Chinese state media reported on an alleged email from Peng, which said in part, quote, the news in that release, including the allegation of sexual assault, is not true. I'm not missing, nor am I unsafe. I've just been resting at home and everything is fine. Tennis icon Serena Williams, among those not taking that statement at face value. She tweeted in part, quote, I am devastated and shocked to hear about the news of my peer, Peng Shuai. I hope she is safe and found as soon as possible. This must be investigated and we must not stay silent. Well, out front now is Steve Simon. He is not staying silent. He's the chairman and CEO of the Women's Tennis Association. And Steve, thank you so much for speaking out on this issue. You know, it takes a lot to do that, right? You know, we can't see CNN as we talk about this, and obviously there are repercussions for you and for tennis as well. But you're speaking out. Do you have any reason to believe that that email from Peng Shuai, you know, where she retracts her allegations and says none of it's true and she's home and resting and everything is fine? Do you have any reason to believe that that is an email from her? It's true.
Well, thanks, Aaron. Thanks for having me. But and I actually agree. I'm struggling with the email, and I still have very strong concerns about Peng Shuai. For a person to come forth with the type of allegations and the detail into those allegations that she set forth in her November 2nd post, those are significant. And for us to see an email that basically denied what that happened and said it didn't, and that all is great, I'm just struggling to agree to that, and don't believe that's the truth at all.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she knew what was at stake when she said what she said, right? She knows that. I know that you have been trying for weeks to make contact with her. How often have you tried to reach out to her? I mean, you know, when people are trying to find her right now and she's just not responding, tell me how that is going down.
Yeah, we've had direct conversation with the Chinese Tennis Association, and they have assured us that she's fine and without any danger to harm in Beijing. We have reached out to her on every phone number and email address and other forms of contact. There's so many digital approaches to contact people these days that we have. And to date, we still have not been able to get a response. The email she sent me yesterday, which I did receive, I immediately responded to it, and I still have not had a response back from that email to her. When I saw it come out on the obviously the Chinese state media elements in Europe, it became very clear to us that this was a staged statement of some type. Whether she was coerced into writing it, someone wrote it for her, we don't know. But at this point, I don't think there's any validity in it, and we won't be comfortable until we have a chance to speak with her directly and make sure that she knows that we're worried about her, that we have the ability to provide support to whatever level she wants, and that these allegations definitely need to be investigated fully, properly, and without any level of censorship.
Yeah, and as I say, you know, I just think it's just really important here. She knew it was at stake by saying what she said. She knows that there are many people in China who have gone missing or lost. So she knew the risk she was taking. You have been demanding proof that she is okay, a probe into her sexual assault allegations, as you've just said. But Steve, at the beginning, when I said it takes courage for you to speak out, I meant it. I mean, there's a lot of people who do business with China who look the other way on a lot of things. Okay, there's a lot of people. You have threatened to take your business elsewhere if China does not give you answers. That would mean pulling 10 events out of China that you have scheduled for next year, including what you call your crown jewel, the WTA finals, which China is slated to host through 2028 as part of a 10-year deal. You know, when you announced that deal, you called it a $1 billion commitment to the WTA. So this is real in every way for you. How serious are you about this threat?
Well, if anyone wants to question our fortitude behind a statement like that, they can certainly try to. We're at a crossroads with our relationship, obviously, with China and operating our business over there. There's no question about it. It's something that's actually very sad because we have some amazing relationships over there and have developed some unbelievable programs that are really introducing the sport to a lot of young Chinese players that want to become the next Li Na, the next Peng Shuai, and all of those types of things. So it's very exciting. And we've had a lot of success over there. You know, I think that when you look at this, though, there's too many times in our world today when we get into issues like this that we let business, politics, money dictate what's right and what's wrong. And when as you reflected earlier, when we have a young person who has the fortitude to step up and make these allegations, knowing full well what the results of that are going to be, for us to not support that and demand justice as we go through it, you know, we have to start as a world making decisions that are based upon right and wrong, period. And we can't compromise that. And we're definitely willing to pull our business and deal with all the complications that come with it, because this is certainly, this is bigger than the business.
Well, I applaud it. It's incredible that you say these things. One final question for you, Steve. Have you been able to speak to anyone? Does she have family there? Are they safe? Have you been able to talk to anyone close to her?
We haven't been able to talk to anybody, and that's been the challenge, and that's our concern. I'm sure she's very scared. Obviously, she's scared for her family. She's scared for her friends. And I'm sure she's going through a lot of emotions as to if she's getting word of what's going on. Most of the time, people that are in that situation become very, I want to say, lack of a better word, guilty that they're bringing on all these issues and that tennis could leave China. So I think she's probably fighting a lot of different emotions, and that's part of the reason we're so concerned about her.
All right. Well, I really appreciate you taking the time. Thank you for speaking out. I hope you are heard loudly and clearly, as you will be tonight in China, even though they put this to black while we spoke. Thank you.
Well, thank you very much for having us. Thanks for carrying the story. And I think it's very important that the voices of women need to be respected and not censored and not dictated to.
Yes, indeed. Thank you.